Hi, everyone. Thank you for being so patient with us. And our speaker is still facing an issue, so maybe we can take this time to have a conversation with everyone. I do see a few familiar faces, well, not faces, names here. Athil, Amar Roses, Rashmi. Um, would anyone like to talk about how their day has been and what they've been up to? Why were they interested in joining this webinar? Atul, we met very recently. Maybe you would like to talk. Uh, Hi, Rashmi. So am I audible? Right. Rashmi, I suppose I've given you the permission to be able to unmute yourself. So if you'd like to have a chat with me, that would be wonderful.
Hi Dee.
Hi, how has your day been?
Nice to. It was good. Just a few hour ago, I came from college, giving my exam.
Ah, it was lovely seeing you here at IPS, and I see you've been very, very active on LinkedIn as well, haven't you?
Thank you.
You well for the panelists. Rashmi here recently chosen as an ambassador. So Rashmi, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. Hello everyone, Rashmi this side, and I am representing myself as a patient advocate and uh, the Sumera Foundation ambassador. Like I am living with neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder for 10 years, and it's my 10th anniversary this year. So I am celebrating it by spreading the awareness about NMOSD more and more. And yes, I recently joined the International Patient Summit in Delhi, and it was a amazing experience for me to connect with all the fellow warriors and got to learn a lot from all the patient advocates. Thank you.
Absolutely lovely. Rashmi, because this webinar is truly about, being diagnosed with a chronic ailment and then sort of, can you talk a bit about what is it that, what was the thought process when you realized you were dealing with something and it is something that will stay for life? How did you, deal with it? What was your thought process? How did you move forward with it in life? It would be lovely to know more about that.
Like initially, ma'am, like when I got to know I having NMSD, so I was just 11 years old. So it was a excited moment for me. Like I had never admitted in hospital and all. So for the first time when I admitted in hospital, everything was like amazed me. Like wow, I'm getting candula and all. But later, with time, I had accepted, oh my God, it will be my new normal. I have to be admitted after months again and again, like getting relapses on my eyes, completely blind in my right eye time, and one time in my left eye. So it was like something is not right with my body, but still, it did not affected me mentally. Like I was a nerd student, so specs is my new normal and like to show fancy in the class. But later in 2019, I got parapheresis. That
Mm.
was the first time when NMOSD scared me a lot. Like I just completed my 10th class, and after a month, I was excited to enter 11th class and to do a lot of J exam preparation. But one day before my attack, I just did cycling to go my tuition, and the next day, it was completely like a new thing for me. Like I was unable to walk, and it was not acceptable for me. Like what is happening to me, and it was never imagined. So that time, first time I got to know ki, like what the rare disease is. Like we don't have any cure, and we have to live with it, and we have to make our willpower strong, because if we want to come out of it, then surely, because the doctors doing their best, but still there is no cure for our diseases. So we have to make our willpower also strong, so that we will thrive our life to, we will chase our life. Because I always thought ki NMOSD can't resist me from dreaming, and luckily I am completely normal living life with NMOSD. And these past incidents are the proof that I have to take stand for my story, because this is a story of proof that, of course, rare diseases gave us a lot of uh, things that are unacceptable for us. Like, we are not normal. But still, if we have a dream, we can
Yeah.
still pursue it.
Absolutely. That is very true. Rashmi, I remember the last time we had a conversation, we went on this very long tangent about how we as
Anxiety.
we as patients feel a lot of anxiety about not really
Right.
knowing whether we are supposed to treat ourselves as normal people, or whether we are supposed to, make a big deal out of this thing, this new thing that we now have to live with. And, on one end, um, initially as a single person, you think that, it's such a big issue and I'm struggling and my life has been turned upside down and I have to go to the doctors and my parents are struggling, etc. But then when you actually go to the hospital and there are hundreds of people like you, and
Right.
you're in a room full of patients who may be traditionally suffering through more severe of a disease than you suddenly start to question your worth. You start to question whether whatever you are going through, is it important enough or not? Am I making a big deal out of my life? Am I not doing enough? Why am I not feeling validated? Why are there not enough resources for me to understand where do I stand? The anxiety of just not being sure as to, not being able to characterize yourself as a patient. Um, you know,
Right.
that
It's
is
like
being,
when we are looking completely fine externally, but still we are facing a lot of issues. That's
yeah,
the point. Like, it's very hard to explain it to society. Like, of course, we are struggling a lot. That is not really seenable by everyone.
yeah. Absolutely. So, Rashmi, you have recently done a wonderful job of advocating for yourself. Even now, I see, you are the talk of the town for being, a very, very well-spoken young girl. And maybe for the panelists here, if you could just talk a bit more about how is it that you got into advocacy and your first experience of speaking about your ailment at a public forum such as this right now, and any advice that you can give for people who might be not so sure as to whether they should put themselves out there and speak on their own issues or not.
Yes, sure. Can I explain it at present?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, can I
absolutely.
share? Yeah. So initially, I always dreamt like life is not normal for me. At least my family is living, even they are suffering with me. I thought like lying on the bed is still, we have to face a lot of pain, like getting injections continuously or within hours. But still, I was enjoying because my sisters are giving me so pamper situation and all. But I always try to hide my pain in front of my parents, because if I broke down in front of them, then surely they will broke down, and I really don't want to see them cry. So I
Yeah,
always enjoyed those phases in hospital. Sometimes, of course, there's a lot of pain and breakdown we have to go through. Because every time the situation or our body reaction is not in our favor. Sometimes actually the body is not reacting correctly. And even doctors may become concerned for us, like the proper medicine is not working in your case. So that was a phase, like at that time, oh God, like why all this happening to me, and what did do wrong that I am getting all these things. But later I always believe that if something bad is happening to you, there may be some reason that you will be the zaria for someone. Like,
yeah,
I always thought a lot had happening in my life, but I tried. I always dreamt like I will write my story to motivate others, because animals is so rare, and even on internet there are very less data information is available about the patients who are living with it. Like, I always admire Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So in my professional life, I got to learn a lot of things from his life. But there is something different in my life as well. He was not having any health issues and all. So whom I admire as an inspiration if I am struggling with the health issues and at also, like I tried not to give up at all. Like in 10th I topped my school and then pursue like took a 12th May 12th science stream and pursuing btech. So btech phase was so tough because the competition is so high in college, and I always try to do my best. Even the thing that gave me a lot of motivation is that all the children who are working with their full efficiency are competing with me. Like, you are a topper, you are getting a lot of marks. And I was like, my parents are saying, Rashmi, just do pass. Just prepare for passing marks. We will be happy. Don't take much stress because whenever you take stress, the attack will come on you. So I was like, okay, Papa, I will take a chill and just fill the copy. And I was like amazed. Oh my God, all the students are competing with me. Like, Rashmi, you are doing like a topper. How are you scoring? How are you studying and all? So their things gave me a lot of motivation. But then, as passing time with time, like in second year last year, I got a lot of stress due to deadline of project submission. Okay, so at that time, due to shortage of time and heavy pressure, I like my speech get lost. Like I got a slurred speech at that time. So it was a very horrible situation for me. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, everyone is saying, Rashmi, just submit it soon, we are out of time. And I was like, no, I'm not able to speak, just I'm writing, do what I'm instructing you by writing. So my friends were not able to understand like what is happening to me. At that time, I realized if there were my family, if my family were present at that time, they will be able to understand like Rashmi is not well at present. But my friends are like, yeah, what are you doing? We are out of time and you're not speaking anything. So that was the moment I realized something is missing. Like, still I am still I am motivating myself all the time to never give up. Nobody is understanding me when I need really importance about my health. And when next day I contacted with doctor, then he will be like, oh God, Rashmi, you are taking stress. That's why you faced a anxiety issue. That was the anxiety problem. Don't take stress and stay calm. Thought I was the girl whom I imagined to be a motivational speaker every time. And today, doctor is saying you are suffering from an anxiety. That was the moment of breakdown and shattering for me. Like, this was not me whom I imagined every time to be a motivational speaker in future. Then I decided this is the time to come up with my ailment, like what I am living with rare disease, and that's my choice that I kept hidden all the time, just because whenever I will achieve my dream, whatever my goals is, then I will be open up for myself. But when I saw my strength is becoming my weakness, then I decided not to stay quiet again. This is the time to be open up for myself. And that time I created my Instagram profile and here I am.
Wonderful. That's really inspirational. And I think one of the things that has really helped you in, being as successful as you've been in advocacy at such a young age is being comfortable with your chronic illness, right? A lot of people call themselves advocates. However, they do not necessarily like to talk about their problems. They believe advocacy would mean that they can talk about other people's problems. And whenever it comes to us not being in the best of our physical and mental state, we start to question whether we are advocates or not. And in some ways, as a mental health advocate, when you tell me that you thought you were a motivational speaker, but when someone someone told you that you're suffering from an anxiety attack, you started to question everything, right? Whether
Yes,
I
right.
can in fact be a motivational speaker or not anymore. And what kind of speaker are you if you yourself are not able to contain your emotions? How can you inspire other people? But
Right,
here's what I say. If you are probably the best person to inspire others because you are someone who is going through these things firsthand, and to truly be able to be empathetic with other people and to be able to advocate for yourself and for others like yourself, you have to feel what they are feeling.
right,
Just talking about it is not enough. And to everyone here, who's attending this session, I think the biggest takeaway would be exactly that if at any point in your life you have felt um, that you have not been doing well, be it physically, mentally, environmentally, any of those things, those are your strengths. Your experience is your strength. Your experience is something, same as Rashmi is able to talk about her experience here. She need not have some very, you know, a glamorous story, or something extraordinary, but something that is simply a part of her life, a part of her college, a part of her family. Something as simple as that is something she's able to share with us, and that in itself, should and is inspiring. You don't need to be out of the box to be able to advocate for yourself, basically. So, Rashmi, thank you for being, so forthcoming with your problems and with your journey so far. And I think
thank you.
absolutely. One of the questions that I would really like to know about is when you were diagnosed with a rare disease, obviously your family was very supportive with you, but at any point were you offered mental health support as a part of the disease management itself, or is it something that was only suggested after you had an anxiety attack?
The luckiest part in my life is that my elder sister is a psychology student, and even she's becoming counselor in school very soon.
Mhm.
So I am blessed with her. Like I had shared all my feeling about my like downfall and my happy times, everything. Like I shared, Didi. I always have a thing. Like if I am getting something bad, like surely I had did it in past with someone. That's why I'm getting all this. Like it's karma returns back. Then Didi told me, Rashmi, it's not all about past. Like you are figuring out everything, like what is happening in your present must be hidden in your past. There must be some future issues that you are hiding yourself. Like you are being afraid from some future plans that you are not working on it. Why are you focusing always on your past? Maybe some things are hidden in your future as well. Like she told me, uh, never stop blaming your past. Try to figure out your clear future as well. Like sometimes you are hiding your disease and all because of the societal norms. Like if you are open with your disease, you feel like you were not acceptable by the society and all. That's why you are trying to hide it so that you will not get any sympathy and all, because you never want to get sympathy from anyone. So then I worked on my feelings, like what really I want. So like I had worked on it and realized like whatever the dreams I had seen, seen myself and my family in that thing. Then why the society is playing an important role in my life? Why I am hiding all the things from society? If something is not acceptable by my society at present, then of course it will not be acceptable future. But if the society will able to understand what are these things, because it is our new normals. Like I will share a short story. Like using restrooms is a new normal for us. Like whenever I get stressed, I will visit the restroom 2 3 times within 10 minutes. Okay, so it is normal for me, but other people were saying like it is something bad. Like it is normal for you, or is something happened to you? Why are you visiting the restroom so often? I
Mm.
felt humiliated in my class by standing alone in front of teacher. I have to use the restroom, and he will like stop, sit on the seat, and when the period will off, you can go. But it's my normal thing. I have to use it because it's the side effect of my disease. But They were not accepting me like the way I am. I said, I am completely giving best in my studies, then why you are stopping me from using all these things? This is my new normal. You, the society has to accept all this. So
Absolutely.
that's the thing. I decided like I will share what are the new normals of our life that is not acceptable by the society, but this is a lack of awareness. The society has to learn the new awareness about all these. Then the life will become easy for us automatically.
Yeah. When you say the new normal, I think a lot of people don't realize that what normal for them might not be what is normal for us, right? And
Right,
when people who are not necessarily dealing with what we are dealing, they can't understand um, our mental space. They can't
right,
understand our physical discomfort. So no matter how many times you try to explain it to them, it's like it's almost to them it's like learning a formula. So they think that formula will apply to every situation. But for example, if someone says, when someone is angry, give them a hug. But that's a formula. But we know, as versatile human beings, that not every time someone is angry, you can give them a hug. Sometimes if
right,
they're angry at you, you're not supposed to go and hug them for sure. So, but this is the thing, right? With rare diseases, with mental ailments, things that people don't necessarily know much about. When you tell them, hey, I'm going through X and I would like you to deal with it in Y, then they try to do that every single time. But you don't need it every single time, and it becomes very
right.
difficult to explain your needs then. Um, so if I say this because I remember having this conversation with my own family and my friends that when I try to talk about struggling with the mental illness as a justification as to why I was not in my best stage in life, then they were very supportive, very, very supportive. So they would be like, similar to your story, that it's okay, you just have to pass. You don't really need to be the topper. That's okay. Don't stress out. Everything's fine. Setbacks happen. It's a part of life, yada, yada. And it felt good at that time. But then 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks later, when I'm better, and I'm feeling energetic. And then someone tells me, it's okay, you don't need to try so hard. And
Right.
I take that personally. I'm like, what do you mean? So you think I can't do better? You think I have a problem, so I shouldn't try as hard. And it's not like the person who's trying to cheer me on is just trying to be nice. But I
Right, exactly. We
tried, but
don't need sympathy every time. We just
every
need
time.
some
Well,
time.
it's just the part of being a survivor, I suppose. Like it doesn't matter, there is like no perfect answer. Hi Shrenik, happy to have you here finally. I've been chatting away with Rashmi. You have met her
Hello,
in
sir.
for the International Patient Summit, and we also have a few other people here who attended the session. And we are happy you were able to join us. The technical issues, don't spare anyone, I suppose. Um, all right, Shanik, can you hear us? Shanik? Oh goodness. Rashmi, I suppose we need you back. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, while we wait for Shanik, I think the point that I was trying to get at is what is one takeaway point that you can offer to the people in the audience? I see my mom here in my audience, so I think it would be really good for you to give.
Can I say that line in Hindi?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I will say a quote. उनकी तरह तुम्हारी मेरी हर किसी की कहानी हो सकती है, बस तुम सुनाने की चाह तो रखो. लाइक हर इंडिविजुअल पेशेंट यहाँ पे एक एडवोकेट बन सकता है, और तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ टेक्निकल नॉलेज की जरूरत है. यू जस्ट हैव अ कम्युनिकेशन स्किल एंड यू जस्ट हैव द पावर टू शेयर योर स्टोरी. दैट विल मेक यू अ पेशेंट एडवोकेट. थैंक यू.
Absolutely wonderful. Like if the people were here in person, we would be clapping for you. Rashmi, you're a fantastic speaker. Shrenik,
Well, yeah, finally, nearly 35 minutes is lost. It was really a mess.
That's all right, Shrenik. Thank you for being able to join us. And what we've been talking about is basically how, the experience of a survivor of when someone is diagnosed with a chronic ailment, what is it that they go through, the emotions that they feel, how do they then manage their life, how do they live with the disease, with the treatment, what is some advice that they can offer to their family and the people around them, how to treat them normally while also being sensitive about their issues. So, yeah, we would love to hear about your journey and please take the stage.
Thank you. Well, Munda and um, entire Pear Academy, thank you so very much for giving me this splendid opportunity. Well, I will be a bit quicker now so that we can cover it up. So, well, you can imagine what would be the life without natural voice. Be it you are on a stage, be it as a TEDx speaker, even webinars. Webinar would have never occurred when if there is no voice or when you are unable to speak. And on top of that, the daily life without spoken words become absolutely catastrophic, filled with anger, frustration, depression, sheer helplessness, and whatnot. It is a long list. And my dear friends, this is the life I'm living for past 27 years, and this is going to be the reality for rest of my life. But you know what? Usually people consider cancer as a bad disease, but you know what? Cancer has given me incredible external opportunities across global platforms. Yes, and I'm the world's first TEDx speaker with this voice. So, I rather consider this as a blessing in disguise, but this was turned into blessing in disguise simply through human intelligence. Yes, human intelligence. Here AI has not played any role whatsoever, in becoming a global orator and so on. So, well, and the irony was the voice which you are listening now, the voice, the direct sound which got over 100,000 downloads and so on. This voice was rejected. Yes, this voice was rejected back in December 1997. People were scared, people were running away, they were not understanding what exactly is going on. But, you know, honestly speaking, I am grateful to all those rejections because at those rejections ignited the fire from within, and I continued speaking, and that's how since 2011 until now, and maybe if God's permit, I will continue speaking. I would rather say I'm about to mention that I am showing up consistently and confidently across global platforms as a speaker. Now imagine someone who has no voice and still he or she is calling him or herself a speaker, a patient advocate, ambassador, moderator of live webinar, and so on. So we need to change. the alphabet of life. Now there is no more a forever, be more babies, be more cat. Now A means acceptance, A means being authentic, and A is being approachable. And then that's how you can take steps forward. I want to share one example. You know, the year before last, there was a competition of the speakers in India. It was a national competition. I was the only speaker with this voice, and believe me, out of 300,000 speakers in the competition, I was shortlisted from 300,000 to 500. So it's all about grit. It's all about your courage, confidence, and freedom from fear, and that's how you can make things happen. And Mukta, trust me, I had a choice. Look, I am 73 now, and I am not an engineer, but I was able to build a bridge between a garden cut, and that's how I'm speaking in front of all these wonderful people. I mean, who have spent or who have given their present or other present today to listen to my talk. Now, what exactly the situation is, that should not be complaint box in the life. Remember what you have and don't remember what you don't have. Don't struggle for that, and start troubleshooting all adversities, all challenges, everything, including rejection. Although contrarily, I consider rejection as a jet fuel. Rejection as a jet fuel. That means, you know, that rejection you can use it as a jet fuel to empower your journey. You can make impossible possible. And you know what, say, as I said earlier, blessing in disguise, the voice which everybody is listening now, and the people who have listened to me earlier and even later on, you know, I did not have to give my introduction as a Shrenik Shah. The moment they will listen to this voice, yes, it is a robotic voice which we are seeing in a Hollywood film and so on. But this is not a robot. This is 100% emotional robot. I mean, speaking in front of you. And when I was diagnosed, I was diagnosed into stage 4 of bone cancer. Normally, when you are announced as a stage 4 cancer patient, you by yourself and people around you will think कि अब ये थोड़ा टाइम का मेहमान है. And you know what? Today is my 10060 day after the loss of my natural voice. And trust me, as I said earlier, there is no complaint box whatsoever. And this is my distinct identity, my USB, and every single day I am into taxi mode, seatbelt fastened, and always ready to take off like a 380 800 to touch the horizon. And that's how I have delivered over 9,000 hours of talk and bumper to touch over 100,000 lives. So this is a bit. I hope I try to explain a bit to what you asked.
Thank you, Shrenik. It was absolutely one of the most motivational, short and sweet, introduction that I've ever witnessed. And from all the hearts and claps that I can see, in the chat box virtually, I can say that people truly have been inspired. And I think, we were just talking about it actually, about how when you struggle with something, when life throws this curveball at you, it is not something that sets you back. It is actually something that makes you unique. It makes you more emotionally empathetic. It makes you more mature. It makes you more versatile because you're constantly trying to adapt to the changing environment as well as your own self. So this is truly, like I said, it's an ability, not a disability, right? It is something that makes you special. And just that simple change in mindset can decide whether, you become a complaint box or an inspirational voice. And yeah, there are people in the chat box saying pure joy listening to your journey, how inspiring. And Shrenik, truly what an inspiration. um, I think this is a question I asked Rashmi as well, and I would like to extend it to you now. A lot of people, they would like to be, advocates for themselves and for their loved ones and people like their own selves. However, they feel that they can only speak and be inspirational if they have a very positive story, if they are always very strong, if they are always going upwards, right? They don't have any downs, and they feel as soon as they are in a low point in their life, they are not inspirational anymore. And as a very 73-year-old young man, what advice can you give to all these people here?
Sure. Munda, see, that is a very simple catch for the life. Your life, my life, everybody's life is like a Rolls Royce car. Rolls Royce car. That means Rolls Royce car is not meant to be kept in the garage. I mean, you keep on polishing, you see everything. Yes, I have given a project that is of no use. Let people see what you are, and at times, there is a fear. Too many accidents are taking place on the road. Do we sit, do we sit at home with the fear that oh my God, I may get crashed? Now we are going out. So same with the case with the disease, whether it is cancer or anything. Say this is precious life gifted by the God. You cannot afford to waste your life. If you have enough money, you always opt for SIV. Why don't you SIV your own life? Why don't you SIV your own time? Because then and then, you will feel committed. And let's not forget the life. The only important point is performance, performance, and performance. एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल, अगर मॉर्निंग में वो जो मिल्क वाला है, मिल्क की डिलीवरी करने को नहीं आएगा तो हम कितना चिल्लाएंगे. Newspaper वाला न्यूज़पेपर नहीं आया तो कितना चिल्लाएंगे. Same with the case in our life. At the end of the day, unless you don't deliver, you cannot be called yourself as a human being. And then being human being is not at all enough. You have to be empathetic. Try, I would answer the question you asked as a patient advocate. There are two things. Number one, you need to have freedom from fear. Everybody is going to die one day or the other. Don't live your life. Don't live with your life with the freedom, with the fear. Because if the moment you start living your life with the fear, that means you are dying every minute, every second. Because and when there is a fear, that means you cannot concentrate on anything. You may not be having courage. You will not be able to take step forward. अगर हम step forward नहीं करेंगे तो momentum कैसे आएगी? How are you going to reach your final destination? And see, one more point I would like to, during some of my TEDx lectures and lectures in medical colleges, conferences, I do mention there is a very simple word which everybody likes in general. I mean, whoever can understand the meaning of dating. DATING, dating. Dating means unconditional giving. Unconditional giving. So, do things here again. Start loving yourself in first place and start dating your opportunity. That means forget about results. Keep on adding values, keep on adding moment, keep on becoming unstoppable, forget about rejection, forget about everything. If you are doing everything right in a proper manner, results are bound to come. And publish at times, people may be believing and not be believing in Almighty, but when there is a will, there is a way. And I want to give one more example here. While attending that IPS too, I truly admire energy, enthusiasm, and power management. It was commendable. Yes, I attended too many conferences globally, but this was remarkable. And my takeaway for, or rather, I would like to suggest a takeaway for the entire audience that if you have purified your mind, if you have purified your intention, God will be always there behind you. You may not be knowing when you will be getting results, but results are bound to come. Only thing is you need clear purpose, priorities, passion, perseverance, and last but not the least, perform. And फिर ऊपर वाला भी देखेगा कि ये बंदा ने इतना मेहनत किया है, उसको कुछ ना कुछ तो देना पड़ेगा. It's not a matter of mercy. It's not a matter of mercy. It is our privilege. And when God is so kind to give a birth to us on this planet, it is our duty to do something remarkable, something incredible, something exceptional. And once again, I'm telling you the same thing that we are everybody's talking about AI. Yes, I'm not against AI, but AI का तो बस अभी अभी हुआ है. ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस तो सेंचुरी से चल रही है. Human intelligence is century से चल रही है. I mean, we cannot ignore human intelligence at any point of time. And then here again, when you are speaking, when you are moderating even, or when I am speaking, I'm not looking at AI and answering the question. It is what is here. So forget about fear of artificial intelligence. And here again, when it is artificial intelligence, that means at the end of the day, you will get 10 different options, but then you have to choose one out of this 10. And at that point of time, it is HI and not AI.
Absolutely.
अगर आपको इसमें कुछ बोलना है, if you want to propose to one of the best people you like, you cannot use AI. No, you have to use your art. You have to use art intelligence, human intelligence, and that's how you can deliver your best.
Thank you, Shrenik. This was really, it was very uh, raw. It was very honest, and it was really very helpful, to be very honest. A lot of people don't take that step, that one step needed to move forward in life, because they're so scared of what might go wrong that they don't even try to think of how many things can go right. And it's again, it's sort of circling back to that perspective, right? And you heard it here first, people, we are all Rolls Royce. And there's no point in staying in the garage if you can take it out for a spin. So,
Uh, Munda, give me one more minute. Of late, people are using various web browsers. I'm again coming to better patient advocacy because, you guys are belonging to that particular segment. So, here again, my catches in last 27 years. I have never browsed anything about my disease. What I am thinking is life is, there is another model. Life is like a Lamborghini. अगर Lamborghini में कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गया तो आप टूल बॉक्स लेके रिपेयर करने को नहीं बैठ सकते. You got to drive the car. Same in the case if something goes wrong with your body, go to expert. If you are not qualified as a medical professional, don't gamble with your life. It can cost you millions and billions. So don't play with your life unless and until you are medical professional. Please carry on.
thank you, Shanik. Yeah, so maybe one of the most simplest but valuable takeaways from your discussion would be our life is limited regardless of whether we like it or not. So it is important to live it, enjoy it, and race through it like a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce, as opposed to just being scared, being terrified, and just surviving, because this life is beautiful and it's worth living. So, Shanik, in interest of time, just one last question for you. We talk a lot, most of the advocacy initiatives that are talked about talk about all the successes, right? Can you talk about one failure that you witnessed in your long journey of, of dealing with such a tough ailment, and how did you get out of it? Maybe this one takeaway that people who might be struggling now can sort of implement in their own lives as well.
Believe me, Arian, I would like to give response to this into a different set of line. Perhaps I did mention during IPS too, but I would like to share here. That is a simple medical terminology, that is HTML, that is short term memory loss. This is being told by psychiatrists and so on. So, when it comes to failures, consider each failure as NTSML. NTSML, that means long-term specific memory loss. That means forget about your major failures. Don't remember because failures can weaken you, and you're not supposed to be weak. Absolutely not. You're not allowed to. And as regards to particularly cancer survivor, my point is cancer is like a stallion. Yes, cancer is like a stallion. Either you ride on a stallion, else stallion is going to ride on you by default. Now it is your choice. Now it is your choice कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए. आपको स्टैंडर्ड आपके ऊपर बिठाना है या आपको स्टैंडर्ड के ऊपर बैठना है. That is, and we guys are using smartphone. स्मार्टफोन हम यूज करते हैं लेकिन इतने स्मार्ट नहीं बनते कि हम लोग स्टेडियम के ऊपर राइड करें.
Thank you, Shrenik. Your lovely humor really helped us pace through this discussion. And I think, just to summarize what Shrenik said is, I think with a wonderful example of life is like a stallion, either you ride it or it's going to stomp all over you and ride on over you, right? So a problem is going to happen and several setbacks and failures are going to happen. So either you can forget about it, take your learnings for whatever it's worth, and move on and grow in life, or you can, fall short and struggle. And I think every person in here can make that decision for themselves. We want to be just like Shrenik. We want to be a very witty, strong 73-year-old person who is able to, have the privilege of absolutely being able to inspire so many people here, and 5 times TEDx speaker. Wow, Shrenik, that's absolutely, it's a lot. It's maybe someday, 50 years down the line, I'll surpass you. But until then, thank you everyone for joining us. And Shanik, see you soon.
Um, I wish you good luck. And yes, I mean, I don't want to wait for another 50 years, maybe 15 years, or maybe why not 5 years. I have one small request.
Yes, Shrenik, tell me.
Um, say the contribution of patient advocate, oncologist, and particularly the caregiver of any survivor or any patient. You know, the life is incomplete without caregivers. And today I want to dedicate one song. I mean, I will just finish it in less than a minute. But I want to dedicate one song to every single patient advocate on this planet, oncologists, people, and individuals like you who are ready momentum. And last but not the least, my wife Neelam and caregivers of all the world. Just give me 1 minute. By the way, today is the birthday of Yaganik. Yes, and I want to play one of our most signature song as a dedication to everybody present today. Just right away. दोस्तों ऐसी गिरी मार्केट के अंदर आप लोग एक काम करना अगर तुम साथ हो
Thank you.
and touch the function.
Thank you, Shrenik. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for being. This was not without glitches, but everyone here is so forthcoming and so interactive, and it's been absolutely lovely having everyone here. And yeah, Shrenik, so keeping in line with what you said, my mom is here. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you for being so kind as to help me navigate through this webinar while Shrenik was able to join us. And thank you, Prajita, for your praises. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And all right, thank you for joining me. I'll end the webinar now. Thank you, everyone.